Lovely. So it's just about to turn 1:15, so we shall get going. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you're all doing really well. This is just going to be a really gentle half an hour stretch, and we're going to work on opening up the front side of our body, because often we're kind of doing this over our phone or over our laptop, and then we'll work a bit into our hips as well. So come and take a seat, get comfy, however you want to sit, and then relax your hands wherever feels most natural this morning. Maybe closing the eyes, or you can just kind of soften the gaze onto something on the floor. Let's take a nice big breath in through the nose. And a nice big sigh out through the mouth. Wonderful. 2 more like that. So a nice huge breath in. And a big release out. 1 more full breath in. See if you can fill up to maximum. And take a nice big sigh. And just give yourself a moment to ease into your seat. So just notice how you feel this morning. So maybe it's the temperature that's the first thing you notice. And then just start to check in with the physical body. Is there anywhere that you're holding on to stress or maybe tension from the week? And with each exhale, can you allow yourself just to loosen that grip and just allow yourself to become a little more at ease? If you're finding your mind is maybe a little bit scattered or distracted, that's okay. See if you can just focus your attention onto your breath. So noticing every inhale and every exhale for the next 30 minutes at least. Lovely. Blinking the eyes open. We're going to start with a few simple neck rolls here. So dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. See if you can tell your left shoulder to fully relax. Good. And then rolling the chin down towards the chest. Take left ear to left shoulder. And just continue with these little neck rolls. So imagine your head was super heavy and just rolling around on the top of your spine. If it feels good for some of us, you can drop the head all the way back, but just be mindful on your delicate neck joint. And just notice how that stretch kind of transfers, maybe down into the shoulders. You might feel it into the upper back as well when you drop your head down. Lovely. If you find a little sticky point, you can just allow your head to be heavy there and breathe into it. Wonderful. Relaxing through the face as well. Perfect. And then rolling the chin down towards the chest. As you inhale, reach the hands up and then look up towards your thumb. So you find space through your waist. Wonderful. As you exhale, bring your right hand down and stretch your left fingertips over so you get that nice big stretch. Perfect. Lots of left and rights. I think some of us are mirrored and some of us aren't. Take a nice big breath in and lean back, look up. And then as you exhale with your top hand, bring it down, maybe onto your knee or maybe onto the floor. Drop your chin to your chest and then take a huge, huge breath. And notice how that feels in your upper back and the back of the shoulder. See if you can relax into it there. So really relax through the head. So the breath is the thing that's really going to open up space in the body. So the deeper you breathe, the more you tend to get out of each pose. Wonderful. As you inhale, reach both hands up overhead, and let's do the same on the opposite side. So the opposite hand comes down, whichever side you didn't do. Good. Take a breath in and lean back, look up to the sky. And then as you exhale, angle this top hand down. Maybe you find your knee, the floor, maybe further away. We'll all look different, and that's totally cool. And then take a really big breath. Should feel it into the back of this kind of shoulder here. Wonderful. Inhale, reaching both hands up overhead. Let's take a little twist to one side. So bringing one hand across. Can you draw your belly in and look all the way behind you? Lovely. So wringing out through that middle spine. Perfect. Inhale, reaching the hands high. Unwind. Come to face forwards. And let's take a little twist over to the opposite side. So whichever side you didn't do. Lightly using this front hand to just draw you round a little bit more. Wonderful. And then as you inhale, come to face forwards, and we're going to find an all fours position here. So roll over the feet. Find a nice all fours position. Spread your fingers nice and wide, and we're going to do a little bit for our wrists. So if you've got any wrist problems going on, just err on the side of caution. Otherwise, we're going to begin to circle over our wrists like so. So maybe your circles start kind of small, and then you can dial them up really big. So your fingers are getting a stretch, the forearms, even the palm of the hand. Give them a little bit of a break after like tapping and typing away probably all week. Good, and then circle the opposite way. So whichever way you're not going, circle the opposite way just to balance it out. You can get the hips involved a little bit as well if that feels good on your hips and your lower back. It's quite nice to get your pelvis moving, and it loosens up through the lower back. It tends to help with like back pain and stuff. Good, lovely. Then coming back to a neutral place now, you're going to turn your fingers to the outside edges of your mat like so. So your thumbs are pointing forward. And then just take a little rock from side to side into those shoulders. So your shoulder blades are like floating bones over the back of your ribs, and they should have lots of movement. But when we get stressed or carry heavy bags, you often find they get a little bit kind of sticky. Wonderful. And then turn your fingertips in. So you're on the tops of your hands now. So if this is too much for anyone, just give your toes a little bit more weight. See if you can straighten up your arms, and it will stretch out through your forearms. Now some of us might want to move from side to side, side to side. Maybe, maybe not. So we're on the backs of our hands like so. Good. And then see if you can give your fingers a little bit of a wiggle here as well, a little light tap just to kind of loosen up the fingers in the hands. Perfect. And then turn your hands back to face forward, spread your hands. Maybe your hands feel a little bit bigger now. Good. Extend your right leg back on the mat, keep your toes on the mat, and just take a little rock forwards and back into the calf muscle. Notice how that feels this morning. Good. And then you're going to turn your right toes out to the right, reaching your right hand up towards the sky, finding a nice big stretch. Good. And then with your top hand, reach it forwards overhead so you get more of a stretch down your rib cage. Wonderful. So we want to open up through our ribs so we can breathe a lot better and deeper today. Good. So we're going to do a little bit of core work here. So very, very gently, you're going to lift up your right foot. Keep it flexed. I expect lots of wobbles and lots of shakes. That's all good. Wonderful. And then draw your right knee in towards your chest, nice and slowly, slowly. You're going to step your right foot where your right hand was, like twister. Good. Lovely. Keep your right hand lifted so we're in this nice big twist. Good. You're going to lead with your back, your top hand. Your top hand is going to reach for the back leg as your left hand reaches up. So maybe some of us find our glute. Maybe you can find the back of the thigh. Keep reaching up with the top hand and feel that nice big opening across your chest and your hips. Lovely. Take a nice big breath in wherever you are. And then as you exhale, spiral your hands down to frame your front foot. And then we're going to straighten up that front leg, coming into a little half split. So you can always be all the way up here if you need. The key is to flex this foot though and keep your toes lifted. So you should feel a nice big stretch down here. Good. And if anyone wants any more, you can fold over a little bit more. Find your own intensity. Perfect. Relax that upper body. Let it happen in that lower half. You guys look great. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to plant your right foot down and come back to your all fours position. So sliding that right foot back, come back to all fours. We'll do it all on the left. So as you inhale, extend your left leg back, and let's take that little calf stretch first. So maybe it's a little rock, forwards and back, forwards and back. Lovely. Good. And then turning your left toes out to the left, reaching your left hand high, coming into like a modified plank. And then reaching that left hand forwards over your head, getting a nice big stretch down your waist. Nice. Let's find that balance now. So zip up through your belly, so really engage through your center line, and then pick up the left foot. Shakes and wobbles are fine. And then bringing your left knee in towards your chest. Step your left foot where your left hand was. Perfect. Keep your left hand lifted so we're in this nice big twist. And then imagine someone's pulling your top hand back and then reaching it for your back leg. Maybe you get to the thigh, maybe you get to your glute. With your right hand, keep it lifting up. Keep energy through your hands. Perfect. Big breath in. And as you exhale, spiral your hands down to frame that front foot. And then straighten up that front leg, finding your own intensity through the back of that leg. Good. See if you can keep the shoulders nice and relaxed, the neck nice and relaxed. Good. Wherever you are, keep your left toes lifted. So even if you're all the way up here, you'll still get a nice big stretch. Or if some of us want to come and fold, that's all good too. Good. See if you can send your breath to like the sticky point where you feel it the most. Big breath in. As you exhale, plant the foot, plant the hands, step it back to all fours. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes. We're going to find our first downward facing dog. So tucking those toes, lifting the seat back and up. Maybe the knees stay a little bit bent for some of us. Maybe you want to straighten out those legs. Now the key with down dog is you want 50% of the weight in the hands and 50% of the weight in the feet. So you can always have a little shimmy around just to kind of find that sweet spot. And it's almost like a little twerk of the hips up towards the sky. So imagine you were doing a little twerk of your sit bones up to the ceiling. Wonderful. From here, as you inhale, come forwards to a high plank. I won't keep you here for long. And then we're going to lower all the way down to our tummy. So feel free to drop the knees and come down in one long line. Perfect. From here, let's come to our forearms. So our elbows are underneath our shoulders and we're in this kind of sphinx shape. Good. For some of us, you can stay here and just think about broadening across the front of the chest. So squeezing the shoulder blades together, feel your collarbones kind of finding more space. If you're not getting that much from this, you can turn your hands out and then begin to straighten up your arms. See if you can relax your bum though. Your bum's really going to want to like cling on. See if you can relax your glutes. And if you're really bendy in the back, you might want to drop your head back, but that's not for everyone. Just depends on how your spine is kind of designed. Lovely. Take a nice big breath wherever you are. And then as you exhale, slowly come on down. So forehead to mat, hands underneath the shoulders. Push your big toes together. And then we're going to push back to a child's pose. So you're really going to settle your sit bones onto your heels. So like nestle them in. Relax your head down. You can use your hands as a pillow if you wish. And just take a couple of really big, deep breaths here. So should feel really nice on your lower back after that back bend. Wonderful. And then bringing your hands back out in front. Let's come to all fours. So roll on up to all fours. Tuck toes. And then let's re-establish our downward facing dog. So sending those sitting bones up. And see if we can get a little bit higher with our sit bones and a little bit lower with our heels. So it's quite an intense stretch down the back of the leg. Wonderful. Let's walk our hands back to our feet. So take your time to walk your hands back to your feet. And when you get to the back, really soften your knees and let your upper body become super heavy. So just allow the shoulders to kind of shake off. Imagine your spine was just kind of, your head, was kind of dangling off the end of your spine. Maybe you've got a little rock from side to side, side to side. Wonderful. And then soften the knees and slowly begin to roll up through the spine. Take your time. Head and shoulders nice and heavy as you slowly pick yourself up to standing. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Perfect. You're going to take a nice long stance along your mat, or if you're not on a slippy floor, you don't have to be on your mat. Ideally, you want your wrists over your ankles, so that's always quite a nice gauge of like where your feet should be. But don't worry if that's too much. Good. Turn your right toes out to the right. Perfect, lovely. And then reach out of your hip. So keep both legs straight, just reach out of the hip. Perfect. When you can't reach any more, bring your right hand down and your left hand up. If it's too labouring to have this top hand up, you can have it on your hip. And then lean back here. You should feel an intense stretch into your hip. You might hear it like pop for some of our hips. And breathe where you are. See if you can find a sense of ease in it. You guys look so great. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale, look down if you aren't already. Inhale to come on up. And then let's do the opposite side. So turn your right toes in, your left toes out. Good. Reach out of the hip as far, far, far as you can. Good. Left hand down, right hand up, and find your sweet spot. So never wants to feel painful, and we never want to feel like we're just chilling out. There will be some sensation, but you can always bring it down a notch, hands onto the hip. Breathe where you are. Relax through the face, the jaw. Wonderful. Take a breath in. Exhale, look down just to look after your neck. And then as you inhale, come all the way back up. Turn your left toes in. You want your big toes ever so slightly pigeon-toed inwards. Perfect. Hands to your hips now. Squeeze your elbows together. Lift your chest. Imagine there's a puppet string on your sternum reaching up. And then as you exhale, forward fold, bringing the hands down to the mat. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. And then I would recommend really letting your head go. So just really allow your head to be heavy. You can take a little sway from side to side if that feels good. Or you can just stay straight down the middle and just kind of work on that stretch in the back of the legs. You can always like tweak it to whatever feels good to you. Nice one, everyone. Bringing the hands down to the floor. We're going to heel toe our feet a little bit closer in, so a little bit wider than hip width. So the big toes are pointing out, and then you're going to bend your knees. We're going to come down into a deep yogi squat. So this is big on the hips, and it's nice for releasing through our lower back. So it gives our lower back loads of space. Good. You can keep your hands on the floor if you wish, or hands at heart center. If your hands are at the heart center, see if you can get your thumbs to like press into your sternum. Lovely. And then relax your glutes again. You might find your glutes are really kind of hanging on here. You guys look great. Wonderful. Bring your hands behind. And then let's lengthen out the legs in front and just give them a little bit of a shake out here. Perfect. Lovely. So keep your left leg straight. You're going to hug your right knee in. And then grab a hold of the foot and the knee. You can either grab it like this and go for a little rock or a little circle here. Or if some of us can kind of cradle it like a little baby, that's an option too. And just see what feels good. So for me, pulling my foot over this way feels really good here. But for some of us, it might feel like better to bring it this way. So have a bit of an experiment on what feels good on your hip. Wonderful. Very nice. Cool. We're going to keep this foot flexed and you're going to cross it over your left knee. I'll demonstrate from the side. Bring your hands behind you. Now for some of us, this might be like, whew, this is enough. Or bring your left foot onto the mat. Lovely. If there's any alarm bells going off in the knee, just slide that foot away from you. Otherwise, you should feel a nice big stretch down here. And if you want more, you can shimmy your bum towards your heel. Nice proud chest. Wonderful. Often you find when you start to hunch, you start to lose the stretch. So see if you can keep your chest nice and proud. And then breathe where you are. Maybe a little rock of the legs from side to side if that feels like it's going to do something nice for you. Lovely. You can even close your eyes and just focus on the point that feels kind of sticky or tight. And send your breath there. Wonderful. Nice big breath in. And as you exhale, gently release. So you can slide your bum away or slide the foot away. Lengthen out that leg in front. Give it a shake if it needs, if that was quite intense on that side. And let's do it on the left. So bringing your left knee in. You can grab the foot and the knee. Give it a little rock or a little cradle. Something else. See if you can let your arms do the work, so you can really relax deep into that big joint and just let your arms kind of manually move your leg. And it's quite interesting to find that the sides are often completely different. Lovely. And then keeping this foot flexed, you're going to cross it on over. Bring your hands behind, proud chest. Option to stay here, option to bring your right foot onto the mat. Shimmy in your bum forward if you want more intensity, or bring your bum further away if you want less. Proud chest wherever you are though. Maybe a little rock of the legs, maybe not. And then breathe where you are. Just breathe into that point that feels nourishing or needed. Wonderful. One more huge breath in here. And then as you exhale, release. So sliding that foot away, give that leg a little bit of a shake out. Wonderful. This time we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So just be mindful of knees. If this causes too much tension for your knees, just bring your feet further away. Otherwise, feet in nice and close. Interlace your fingers and then wrap them around your toes. And then sit nice and tall here. You should feel a nice stretch through your side of the neck, upper shoulder area. Take a big breath. And then as you exhale, just begin to lean forward. So for some of us, it will be a big lean, and some of us, it will just be really subtle. You start to feel it into your groin area. Another nice one for releasing through your lower back. Lovely, but just be mindful of knees. So if there's any tension through the knees, back off. And this is another nice one to close your eyes, completely let go of what the shape looks like and just focus on how it feels for you this morning. Wonderful. Every breath is a chance to nourish the body. Every exhale is a chance to wash away some tension, some stress. Wonderful. Big breath in. Nice big sigh out through the mouth. Good. And then slowly come on up to seated. Close up the knees like a book. Just be mindful of your knees there. Bring your feet about kind of hip width, hands behind, and then just take a little swipe out. So for some of us it'll be quite subtle like this, or maybe some of us really want to push out to the side. That might feel good on your back. Lovely. Nice one. We're going to roll down onto our back from here. So bringing your feet flat on the mat, bring your hands to your shins. And then as you inhale, sit up nice and tall here. So see if you can puff up through your chest. As you exhale, roll onto the back of your pelvis, bring your chin to your chest. Your hands are holding you in place here. And then take a huge breath. You should feel a nice stretch through the back of the shoulder, upper back area. This is nice if you have knots and things around your shoulder blades. If you lean back into this one, this should kind of help alleviate them. Wonderful. And then we're going to roll all the way down to our back. So you can slide your hands down your leg, or you can bring your hands away if you want a little bit more core challenge. Lovely. Good. When you get onto your back, bring your feet just a little bit closer towards you. So you want to be able to brush your heel with your middle finger, roughly. That's it. Great. As you inhale, press into your hands, press into your feet, lift the bum, lift the chest. You can stay here, or you can interlace your fingers behind you and nudge your shoulders back underneath you one at a time to give you more height and a deeper back bend. Lovely. See if you can really ground down through your foundation. So spread your toes, press down through the heel. Wonderful. Nice big breath in. And as you exhale, slowly come on down. So upper back, middle back, lumbar spine comes down. Perfect. Take a little swing of your knees side to side, just really lazily, like windscreen wipers. Great. And then hug both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Well done, everyone. Let's take our hands out wide. Have your palms facing up so you can really just relax your hands. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, just allow your knees to drop to the right. So just let them lazily fall onto the floor. No need to hold them in space. And that might mean you land kind of messily, but that's fine. And just let gravity hold you for a moment. Wonderful. As you inhale, bring the knees through your center. And then let them drop the opposite way. Just let them kind of fall. You might hear a little pop and a click down your spine. So see if you can really let gravity take over, like you don't need to do anything here. Allow your breath to like massage the spine, the shoulders. Wonderful. As you inhale, bringing the knees back through center. And let's give ourselves another little hug. And we're going to take a happy baby pose. So for some of us, you can grab the back of your knees with the soles up to the sky like this. Or some of us might be able to grab our ankles or our feet. The key is to be like a happy baby where you can't quite lift your head and shoulders yet. So keep your head and shoulders nice and relaxed. And then gently pull the knees down towards the armpits, feeling that nice opening through your groin and your lower back. You can take a little rock from side to side. You can grab your feet from the inside of your knees. I find that easier to grab when your elbows are inside the knee. Yeah, that's it. Lovely. Slightly pulling the knees down. If anyone feels really flexible in the heat this morning, you might want to straighten one leg, maybe both legs. This heat is definitely giving our muscles a little bit more space. Wonderful. These look great. And then release, hugging both knees in towards your chest. We're going to take a little rock and roll up and down the length of the spine. So bring your hands on the back of your knees. Tuck your chin to your chest and then find a couple of rocks up and down the length, just awakening that spine. It's like a little massage. And then on your like third or fourth time, come to seated, the same position that we began in. Close off the eyes and just rest your hands somewhere natural, so you can sit however you like. Palms up or down, whatever you naturally feel drawn to this morning. And as you inhale, can you sit just a little bit taller? And as you exhale, can you find a sense of ease? So relax your jaw, your shoulders, down through the waist to the hips. Let's take one more big breath in together through the nose. And take a huge sigh out through the mouth. And just give yourself this opportunity to notice how you feel now after a little bit of movement this morning. Bringing the hands together at heart center. Bow the head towards your heart and take a moment to really thank yourself for carving out the time this morning to look after both your body and your mind. Lifting the prayer, bringing the thumbs to touch in between your eyebrows for kind thoughts. Thumbs to the lips for kind words. Thumbs to the heart for kind actions. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me this morning. Thank you, everyone. Well done. You are all so great. Happy Friday.